A messenger kicks up clouds of dry silt, his chest heaving under the weight of a Judean afternoon. He carries a single sentence from two sisters who are watching their world begin to collapse. Mary and Martha have sent him to find Jesus. Their brother, Lazarus, is losing a battle with a sudden illnss, and their message is stripped of all pleasantries. Lord, the one you love is sick. Between the sisters and their only hope lie miles of jagged limestone and vast stretches of desert. It is a full day's journey just to reach the messenger's destination. Back in the village of Bethany, the sisters wait. Every hour that passes without a cloud of dust on the horizon turns their expectation into a cold, heavy realization. The help they requested is not coming in time. When Jesus hears the news, he doesn't reach for his sandals or call his disciples to move. He remains in the same village for 2 more days, allowing the clock to run out. By the time the second sun sets, the house in Bethany is quiet. Lazarus has stopped breathing. In this era, the grave is a physical finality. The body is wrapped in linen, carried down into a chamber of damp limestone walls, and sealed away from the world of the living. 4 days pass. In the humidity of the tomb, the biological process of decay is well underway. The funeral is over, and the mourners have begun to drift away. To the sisters, the silence from Jesus feels like a permanent abandonment. They are left with the hard, undeniable facts. Their brother is rotting in the dark, and God stayed away. Jesus finally arrives on the outskirts of Bethany. He doesn't find a sickbed to heal, but a village defined by the stagnant air of a week-old tragedy. Martha meets him on the road, her grief sharpened by the timeline. She doesn't lead with a greeting, but with a direct observation. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Jesus offers no lecture on the mechanics of faith, and no defense for his 2-day delay. He doesn't try to explain away the 4 days of silence. Standing before the grief of his friends, he does something that seems to contradict his own power. He joins them. The text records the shortest, most human moment. Jesus wept. He stands in the center of the devastation, feeling the weight of the loss even though he knows exactly what he is about to do. He refuses to bypass the pain of the people he loves. The period of weeping ends. Jesus moves toward the burial site, his sorrow shifting into a focused, quiet anger directed at the grave itself. He stops before the carved stone sealing the cave. He gives an order that sounds like a violation of the dead. Take away the stone. Martha recoils. She warns him that the biology of the last 4 days has made the tomb a place of rot and a horrific odor. To open it is to invite the stench of death into the air. He answers her with a single condition. Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? Men lean their shoulders into the rock. It grinds against the earth, slowly revealing a pitch-black interior. The crowd holds its breath, staring into a hole that has been silent for 96 hours. Jesus takes a breath and shouts into the blackness, not as a request, but as a command to the elements themselves. Lazarus, come out. The silence that follows is unbroken for several seconds. Then, from the back of the cave, comes the sound of linen dragging against stone. A shadow moves within the darkness. A figure wrapped from head to toe in white burial strips shuffles out of the cave. He steps into the blinding light of the afternoon, his lungs pulling in fresh air for the first time in 4 days. This is the end of decay. Stilled blood begins to circulate, and gray skin warms under the sun. The power that moved the stone didn't just mend a body, it overruled the finality of the grave. We often use the language of the tomb for our own lives. We look at a relationship that hasn't spoken in years, or a career that has been buried under debt, and we say, it is dead. We decide that because time has passed, the situation is settled. But the 4 days in Bethany show that a period of silence is not a sign of absence. The delay didn't mean that Jesus had lost his grip on the situation. It meant he was waiting for the moment when only a miracle could explain what happened next. If you are standing before a stone that feels too heavy to move, remember this story. The same voice that reached into the back of that cave is still capable of speaking life into the places you have already given up on.